every interaction counts. That's one of the mantras at Typeform, and that's something that for me it's extremely important because every single connection that we have, every single starting point, every single conversation can mean a lot to everyone. Just a smile can make somebody's day. And this is something that we try to implement in our day-to-day lives, especially during work time at Typeform. So what I'm going to talk today about is how we built a recommendation model to help our customer support agents get more value from Typeform. This is work that I've been doing with my teammate, Nancy Montero, from the customer experience and product data science at Typeform. So, a little bit of the agenda, what I will be talking about. I will briefly present about me so you get to know me. I think it's important to know who is talking and why that's meaningful to somebody. I will briefly introduce Typeform. I'm pretty sure you have, at some point in your life, do a Typeform, even if you don't know it, but just in case I will introduce the product that we have. And then I will dive into the project. It's called Untitled Support. I will present the infrastructure that we have built. Everything has to be built in-house. The recommendation model, the serving UI that we're using, and also the feedback model that we gather information from the usage of the app to actually make the product even better, or the recommended model even better. And finally, I will explain what are the next steps in our path and some conclusions and remarks. So, a little bit about me again. So I studied physics because I wanted to understand how things work, why things were the way they were. I had a million questions, and I'm always looking for answers. Then I decided to go into research because I wanted to get answers, right? So I did my PhD on physical oceanography. So basically, I studied the climate in very long time scales. So I built predictive models for climate, for paleoclimate in this case. I know, it's been a long road for me, but then one thing that I wanted is to have an impact and to make sure that my questions and answers were meaningful to someone. And I didn't quite have that feeling in academia. I felt like, okay, I'm doing something cool, but does it really matter to somebody? And then that's why I decided to move into data science. Also, I love photography, so if you want to talk about photography or anything, just make sure to ping me. And I'm a very proud geek, thank you so much. So Star Wars, Harry Potter, any topic related to that, I will be also very happy to share a conversation. And as Ramona said, I don't like coffee. I'm really sorry, I'm one of those persons. I drink tea with milk. So this has been my journey for the past 6 years. I started at EURECAD, which is a technological center in Barcelona, doing basically data science for mobility and using IoT devices to get information. It was a consultancy firm, so basically I had the opportunity to learn very different technologies in very different environments and to learn how to actually understand what our client needs in a very fast pace and get answers as fast as possible and the most optimal way possible. Then I jumped into Mango, the general retailer, to create a model to be able to optimize prices during clearance sales. So basically twice a year we have clearance sales, we need to put prices every week for every single item of the shops, and we need to maximize profit for that. Then I moved into Codify, which I stayed for last year, doing ETLs. I become more like the software engineering part of it, creating ETLs, doing a lot of modeling on churn, for instance, and so on. It was really cool. And then 6 months ago, I moved into Typeform, which was like the biggest challenge of my life, let's say. I was super stoked to join the company and to be able to do what I do right now. It's an absolute blessing. So what's Typeform then? So basically, so I'm pretty sure you've all done a Typeform at some point in your life. It's basically a form that is built in a way that is asking one question at a time. So in that way, we try to get the sensation of a conversation. Like when you're talking to someone, you're not asking, like giving you 4 options and asking a lot of questions at the same time. You're just asking a question and getting one answer. So the idea is to get information in a meaningful and in a direct way, or a human way, let's say. That's our vision, to create a world with more personal business relationships. And the idea is, right now in the world we're living, we're kind of always have a screen in front of us and between us. So let's try to put that screen away a little bit. Let's try to talk. Let's try to get human conversations. And that means to bring people in, to connect people, to be able to talk to people in a more easy and direct way. One of the things that I love about Typeform is that we have a very strong culture. So these are our values, and we try to live to them as much as possible. I'll try to be very brief, I promise. Start from empathy. When you are trying to get conversation, you need to be an empath. You need to understand the other people. You need to at least try to understand the other people. Only we try to deliver the best quality possible. Win together. We're a team. We don't want to, get silos of everything. We try to work together as much as possible and to think as one team, one goal, to make a difference. This is something that I love because I always wanted to have an impact, and this value for me is very important. Let's try to be the best way, the best version of ourselves possible to deliver the best quality. And the one that I live more of is bring joy to the journey. We are alive. We can enjoy every single day of our lives. So let's try to do that at work too. Let's try to make it fun. We spend more time at work than we do at our place. We spend more time with our teammates than we do with our families. So let's try to make it fun. Let's try to make it meaningful. Let's try to enjoy it, because time does fly, right? So let's try to be let's make it as interesting as possible. So let's dive in then. Actions after support. This is the project that I will present to you today. This is the project that I've been working on for the past 3-4 months now. What's actions after support? So actions after support is a project that aims to provide recommendations to our customer support agents about what is the best next action that our customers can have. In that way, it's like a loop, right? So we have customer data. We built a recommender system that feeds from that data. We built a web app that is being used for our care team or customer support team. They give us feedback so they can enrich the customer data. And also the care team talks directly with each of our customers. So it's a direct conversation with our customers, trying to make them feel, or not make them feel, like making them understand that we care, we really care about them, and we try to improve the usage of Typeform that they do. This is an example of the types of conversations that our agents have with our clients, for instance. This will be, for instance, Carlota. I cannot read anything that says here, but I'm sure you can. So the idea is basically a customer, let's say Nicholas, has a problem, right? He just go into chat like support, clicks on there, write his question, and Carlota, boom, answers and says, hey, I see you have a problem with this, let me fix it for you, or let me have help or let me help you to fix it. And then at the end, Carlota suggests like, hey, would you like me to take a look into your data and see if I can find something interesting for you? If Nicholas says yes, then Carlota will go into our web app, will look for a customer for Nicholas, will have a look at his data and get some recommendations of what can she propose to Nicholas based on the usage of Typeform that he's doing, and recommend something that is really meaningful for Nicholas in that point of time, so he can get the most possible value from our product. So why access as a support? The aim of the project is we have a direct contact with our customers. We can directly talk to them and suggest something that will improve the usage that our customers do with our product. That means that they are going to get the most value, right? For their customers too, and we can then increase retention and in process, for instance, or engagement, right? What we want is our clients to use Typeform as much as possible, because in that way they will get the most value of it. If a client is happy, we will be happy. So that's the idea, right? Let's try to make it the best possible way for our clients to get what they need, so they will still be with us in the future. How have we created this product? This is the infrastructure that we've used. I will go step by step, but simply to give you another view of the architecture that we have built. Basically, we have used Databricks, as our own engine, first for prototyping and then for deploying and so on. We have the code is built on Python as a modular code. This has been deployed into production using Airflow. To deploy an Airflow, we use Chester, which is a deck repository that we built in-house. And then we consume the data that the jobs produces using an API and a gateway. And this is consumed by UI that is built on Python too, using streamlit, that it's in a container. It's deployed on Kubernetes pod using a container, and then the app, basically the web app, reads from the warehouse, reads the predictions, and also writes into the warehouse the feedback that our care agents provide us. Let's go step by step then. So the infrastructure that we're using for prototyping is Databricks. Initially, we started using notebooks. So basically, we do the exploratory analysis and we started doing the prototyping on notebooks to see if it actually makes sense to do a project. I will highly recommend to first try it, first do an MVP. Try to see if what you're trying to achieve is valuable or not, if it's viable, if it brings value and it's possible to do it, actually. And then we use IDE to create the Python code, the Python mobile code, so every single piece of the code is reusable. So that means that we are not just writing one thing and that's it. We're writing things to be used in the future too. So every single thing that we do it thinking on how can these be used use for other projects, for other partnerships, or wherever. We always try to build on the top of each other. And for that, we need to have this mindset of how can I actually use this for more than this moment in time. What else? Then the code is being deployed as an Airflow job. To do so, we use Tester, that is an in-house tool that we created to deploy jobs on Airflow using a YAML file. So it's quite simple, but the idea is that we have this level of abstraction on top of Airflow, so it's very, very simple for data scientists to actually deploy things. We simply need to state the parameters on a YAML, deploy the code on GitHub, and then directly using GitHub Actions, it gets deployed on Airflow. On Airflow, we have two jobs. One is the similarity matrix that we'll talk in a few minutes, but it's calculated weekly, on a weekly basis, and then we have the recommendations that are calculated daily. This goes into a stream, a callback from a stream, just to make sure that we have everything saved there for future consumption of all the projects, for instance. And it also goes into DynamoDB to be consumed on an API gateway. So basically, it's an gateway, it's an API service to consume the predictions and to serve them into the UI. So, consumption, how do we consume this data? We have created the streamlit code. It has in Python. Streamlit is like a thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So basically, streamlit is a Python library. Sorry. So it's quite popular, quite easy to use actually. It has been contained on a Docker container and deployed on Kubernetes, Kubernetes pod. And the idea is that this UI, what it's doing is simply every time it gets a request, gets the prediction from the gateway, gets information from the data warehouse that it needs to fill in, and also writes the logs, the usage of the app, and also the feedback that the advocates give us. So let's dive into the data itself, or the recommender model itself. What are the spider-web dimensions? The spider-web dimensions are the dimensions that the variables that we have found in our data that are really important and relates to quality, relates to retention, and in process are the users that actually have Typeform embedded in their own processes. And some of them, not all of them, but some of them are things that are presented here. For instance, the number of integrations that someone has with Typeform, the number of seeds, the embeds, if the Typeform has been embedded on a chat, has been embedded on a web, has been embedded somewhere. If it's an annual plan or a monthly plan, and if it has Video Ask. Video Ask is one of our products. It's also called Typeform, but it's a video that you can simply ask a question and answer with a video. You can record yourself and then send that as an answer. So it's impossible to be more direct than this, right? Someone actually explaining something to you directly with a video. So the idea is that we use these dimensions to build the recommender model. The idea is that, first of all, we find the most similar customer with the customer that we are actually considering. What we do is we have similarity matrix stating which customers are most similar in terms of the dimensions to the others. Then we isolate those are the top collectors, the most important, the most active users, the ones that has like the most usage of the product. and we compare our client that we want a recommendation for to these users are like the top collectors or the most active users. And then we rank the different spiderweb dimensions in terms of what are the most common things that these clients use. The clients that get the most Typeform, what are they using? And then we recommend that to our client. Okay, so this is an example of the UI that we have created. This is an example of what our advocates have when they are talking to our client. So basically, as you can see, there is the left bar that they simply put the email of the customer, and then clicking on launch AES, they get the account information of that customer. So basically variables that can give them an idea of why this customer uses Typeform, why is the usage that it does, and well, to get a flavor of the customer, let's say. As you can see, there is account, integration, so a number of variables apart from the style of dimensions we can group, a lot of them, a lot of other variables, so they can get as much information as possible to get the context of the user. And then if they scroll down, they can get the recommendations that has been built specifically for that customer in that point of time, right? Based on the, for instance, 4 of these dimensions are integrations, annual plan, video ask, or embed, and they get them ranked. The idea is that we can provide recommendations to our agents, but the ones that own the recommendations are the agents. So we are not telling the agent, hey, you should recommend this specifically. No, because they have the business knowledge. They know it. They are talking to the client directly. They can understand better the client than any of us behind the computer can. So what we do is we give a variety of recommendations in a ranked order, but the recommendation is made by the agent, and he or she can choose what is he going to recommend at that point of time. Because he or she is talking to the client, he knows better than anyone what the client might need. So we are giving the opportunity to own the recommendation themselves. And how can we then know what has been recommended? That's why we have this feedback section. The feedback section is meant, on one hand, to first of all get like a free text, so they can tell us like, hey, I don't like the way that the UI has been built, please change this, or please change that. But on the other hand, it's built for getting us information of what has been recommended, and if that recommendation is meaningful or not for that client. In that way, we can, on one hand, validate the model and improve the model in the future, and in the other, we can attribute this chat, this action, to a following action. Because you can do the most amazing data science project in the world, but if you are not able to measure the success, it's like you've done nothing. You cannot prove anything. You cannot demonstrate the value of it. So it's super important, it's basic, that you put any way. It can be the most easy way in the world, but you need a way to actually measure the success of the project. What we do is we have created an attribution model. So we know if a recommendation has been made, what has been recommended, and if that user in the next, let's say, 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, depends, gets that done, that means that it's really thanks to us. It has, actually support has actually helped that client get what he wants. So we can attribute a value of every single channel we do. Also, you can see here at the bottom the usage of the app. It's around 35 times a day. It's not that much. Right now, our chat support is only available for our Tier 3 customers, so the high-level customers, let's say, the enterprise customers. that means that we only have like around 200 chats a week. And we're using the app 50 times a day. So we are not only using it for getting information to the chat, we're actually, the agents are using it a lot to get information from a client, to understand a client, and so on. And now this is being rolled out to all the rest of our clients. So not only to the rest of our clients in terms of chat, but this has proof as a first version that it works. We have proof that we can add value with this recommender model. So the next step now is to improve this recommender model, because the first version, as you've seen, it's simply based on similarity matrix. It's a little bit simplistic, so we want to build something way more fancy. And then we can use these to create in-product recommendations. Right now, we are only recommending to our agents what to tell our clients, but we have proved that it works. So we can now put it in our product. We can give recommendations directly to our clients when they are using the app. For instance, hey, have you tried this? Or maybe it would be interesting to see this help page that will help you with something. The idea is we have proved that it works. Now we can roll out and try to bring value to all our customers, not simply a few of them. And of course, we need to put some model performance monitoring and business performance monitoring or tracking. The idea is that we need to make sure that we are doing a good job, not only by looking at feedback, but also trying to understand exactly how the model is working, why it's working like that, and to be able to track everything that might happen in the future. Sorry. So, to conclude in some final remarks, the results of Actions as a Support is that it has been, the idea was to be an MVP. It has been more than an MVP. It has been a successful project. We have around 35 recommendations a day, and 39% of them are meaningful, which is, in my opinion, is quite significant. We have, so the project has defined the starting point of what can be done. All the single pieces of the project, we can reuse all of it for different projects. It is to build on top of each other. And this basically means what a successful making product end-to-end means. It means that you have a business problem, you try to solve it, you need to bring a real impact. Do not try to make the design project just because it's safe, just because it's cool, or something because you want to try something. Answer a question, find a sponsor within your company that really needs the problem. Understand the problem and bring a solution to them. That's how you can continue working and growing within the data science sector. Super important to have this mindset of future. Build something that you can reuse for other projects, or create models that can be used in different environments and different projects, or that the output can fit another model. Try to start easy, be basic, show the value, and then you can create something way more important, way more big. But just make sure to build on top of each step. Also, to make a successful data science project, it's fundamental that you cannot do this alone. 100%, you can't. You need people, you need to bring people in, you need to engage with different teams. In this case, we have the business, so the care team has been super implicated in this project, from the customer support agents to the training leadership, to the stakeholders, to project management. They all have been working together. We all have been working together in getting the most valuable product possible. Then we are the data science team. They have worked also with data platform to all the getting the data, storing the data, and so on, and the machine learning platform too, to create the API, where to store the predictions, how to store them, how to make them like strong and well, to make the best possible project that we can. One quote that I like a lot is the aim for simplicity in data science, because the real creativity won't make things more complex, instead it will simplify them. My suggestion is make something simple, start small, show the real impact of it, and then build on top of it every single step of the way. So thank you so much. I will be very happy to take any questions or any feedback that you would like to give me. I'm all ears.